where you're actually able to, when you lose your lose streak, actually hard force a win streak from the position. And if it's not possible, figuring out how to salvage that spot. I think usually the best spot, you know, we see it a lot when people are playing 2-cost reroll, where on 3-2 you tend to snap the loss streak, you stabilize really hard, you roll deep, you try to streak through the rest of the stage, make up the econ, and pressure the lobby. But when you're trying to play something around level 8 comp, personally, I find it really hard to actually force a win streak on stage 3 once you've snapped your loss streak.
Yeah, there's a couple things you can do. You can either just try to take your econ advantage and then go 8, like 4-1.
Okay, this helps too. Being able to get a prismatic augment when everyone else has gold,
that
right?
makes up a lot of the difference there for losing out on that first augment.
Yeah, it goes with coordination here, which I think is a nice, safe pick. Pretty solid here. Just going to get +1 to his army size, as well as that tactician crown, which now provides, I believe it was a bunch of attacks, 30% attack speed, 30% AD, and 40% AP. So pretty good generic item that you can slam on someone like, say, a Vi later or something like that. That works pretty well.
Yep.
It's going to be able to carry around this Vex too, and so now kind of up a little bit of prismatic power, but overall this board does not look particularly threatening. I'm not looking at this going, okay, he's about to win streak. It's like, it's an okay board.
Yeah, I think coordination is his best choice there. I agree with it, but it's not great in his spot because he already has 3 backline items. It gives you a 4th backline item, so he's not getting as much value out of it as you normally would.
When you're playing the AP lines, I actually don't know how to get the most value out of the like the buffed up Tactician's Crown. Generally, I feel like you see it more with like the melee bruiser stuff, like both Mbessa and Vi get value out of the AP and the AD. I know people talk about Twitch also being pretty valuable. In my mind, I actually don't have like a go-to when you're playing the AP lines.
I think you don't need to use the AD and the AP. You can just use one or the other. Really what you want is another good carry that can use those items. So for example, if you're playing the Rebel line and you can put this on a Jinx and a Zoe, you want to itemize 2 of those units. If you're playing Black Rose and you have like Soko and LeBlanc or something.
Maybe Mordekaiser even or something like that too.
So I mostly agree, but what's interesting is if you think about it, like, let's say you're only using the AD, right? It's 30% attack speed and 30% AD. When it comes to like item stats, like that's just okay to bad.
That's about a craftable, yeah.
It's like IE without the crit part. It's like it's kind of bad. It's not a ton. That's why I think if you can end up with someone like a Vi, right, that can also use the AP for like the shields,
I hate this.
that's where you get a lot of really good power from that.
I personally think it's better on backline just because the melee items want some defensives in their items.
Yeah, could see that too.
Yeah, I think I might take this.
A lot of different ways you can use it for sure.
Yep.
So Qingzhao
so I ride the gold.
He's playing the long distance pals, and this is an augment I felt like used to be super popular back in the day and kind of fell off for a while. This set in particular, though, I feel like it's kind of come more into the spotlight. It does tend to present some like positioning tricks, though, that can oftentimes make late games fight a little bit harder to play.
I find this augment really annoying to use, but it's definitely very powerful when you have all your... When you're playing a comp that's investing a ton of resources into 1 or 2 units, such as Violet, you're investing a ton of resources into Violet, so long distance is really efficient for that comp.
Yeah, big thing to
Do
call
I want to get that Renata?
6 Tristanas already.
Try and see if I gonna get
to start building stacks, the higher the cap you can reach here. And really good items on this Tristana. I love the IE.
Can I compare
That's going to give a bunch
here?
of extra crit. That's going to be really powerful here. We finally get our artifact, by the way, from our silver
Is it too late?
here. Prowler's Claw.
One more brew and I try to see if I can compare them.
Really amazing choices here, unfortunately, and it feels like we're either going to see Rapid Fire Cannon or Trickster's Glass.
Wait, hear me out. Prowlers, Urgot.
I was gonna say.
Prowlers,
Could I roll?
IE,
Fine,
Urgot.
Singed.
We could.
All right, never mind.
I was with you. I was like, save brain cell. We could have
I'm
it.
curious what they go for there. I think Trickster's was buffed this patch. I think it's really
How long
good
this is
now.
what I've just done
It's
to
only a
it.
10% mana increase from 30% from the previous patch.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's the rapid fire cannon, though, onto the Ezreal.
Yeah, the Rapid Fire Cannon is
All
an
right.
interesting choice here. There aren't really a ton
risk it for the
of
biscuit.
users in the early game that are really melee here. And so right now,
I'm gonna
playing
ride it.
around this like scrap and artillerist is at least going to get the win, but you know, the nice thing is it's only a silver augment, so worst case, your silver augment being a high attack speed item, that's not that bad.
Gold?
Yeah, they already have the Infinity Edge, so synergizing it with the attack speed, the AD from the Infinity Edge, and the attack speed from the Rapid Fire Cannon is pretty good.
Yeah.
Arcane
Look at our health here. We
Retribution.
have a win streak at 8 win streak here, so looking really good with this Tristana. One Tristana
Anyone,
off. The nice thing here is you have caretakers.
is Kim
So you're
Barman?
not actually one Tristana off. You are 46 XP off.
Yep.
So
No else is Kim Barman,
Tristana 3
right?
going to get locked in pretty quick here, running 3 Conqueror, and I feel like this might just be, we're kind of going for the Emissary line.
This spot is looking amazing. Tristana is, I think, the only infinite scaling unit
How
in
strong
this
is
set
this?
that I can think of right now. So when you can really win streak and you get that scaling, you just keep on snowballing out of control. Rich get richer.
Zhao went 4th in the last game, so top 4 in the game 1 of the round, and already very clearly in a position to.
Sork is gonna
try
be
and
heavily
secure top
contested.
4.
That's
I mean, like
interesting.
Ace is saying,
Oh, it's looking like a top 1 to me.
yeah. You're scaling infinitely, and you're streaking for the entirety of the game except for the first round with a unit that is extremely selfish in the way she wants to play the game, right? Tristana doesn't actually need to have a lot of kill threats. She kind of just wants things to damage but not actually kill. And look at the board. How many other things on this board are actually getting kills? I think it's probably not many at all.
Yeah, this Tristana is going to have a humongous cannonball at the end. I really love how the design team made the cannonball bigger every time she gets a kill. It's really fun at the end of the game.
How big can it get?
We might see a very big ball.
That's very cool.
I've definitely seen it very
Alright,
big here. And so,
we are
it's going to have Tristana
sneaked.
3 next turn. Did end up losing, by the way, to Title's Silco. And so that actually might spell a little bit of trouble for Setsuko, who we know
Bo
is
on a
leaning
3
possibly
cost
towards that
Rennie.
line.
And it
Setsuko,
has
by
been
the way,
left
though, is
till
at like
then.
85
Wow.
health here, so he's feeling good. We get some big roll downs here. We see the Renata come on the right side. Yeah, we do find the Rumble. The Renata on the right side, still not 3-star here, so kind of struggling with that a bit.
4 Emissary now for Zhao Qi, finds the Mbessa, has the rest of those units there, just needs to get the Nami in. Everything else coming together now. Able to
Can I
play the
get,
artillerists, 2 artillerists, 4 Emissary, and then still has a couple flexible
War
spots
for
left
the
on this, which is
undersetting
great
maybe.
because you
Not
have
a
a
second
stable
augment.
board now. You have your core for your level 8 board, and it's probably stable enough that you can kind of chill here because of the Tristana.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it depends on if you natural any more impactful pairs. I imagine maybe if you find like a Garen pair, you feel more inclined to roll, but you're winning all of these fights, and this feels like Zhao Qi's just going straight to 9.
Hitting this Rumble is also a huge high
thing
roll
is I'm
here.
taking heavy losses
having no
though.
anti-heal gets
Everyone's
provided with that
really
Rumble. It's
strong.
also just a really strong
I wanna
defensive
scout.
bunch damage.
I normally don't like being like, oh, it's a totally a first from this spot and whatever, but like this Tristana board situation is really
3 people.
This is like,
foreign forces
I
and
would say
3
they might
striker.
average in the ones for this spot.
I mean,
Okay, I
let's
might
agree, like,
slam some
1.5,
items.
you know,
Oh,
like,
in the ones,
TG.
in the ones.
yeah, so
Like it's either the
I
ones or the
can
twos.
start
yes,
slamming TG.
very good spot though here. We see Setsuko right now still in that Rebel board, hits the Heimerdinger here, so could go the Sentinel line. Definitely kind of playing that AP flex that I had talked to Solo Gasong about. Gets the Heimer in here, doesn't find the Zoe.
Yeah, it looks like Setsuko really wanted to play Soko with his items, but he's flexing Rebels as well as Heimerdinger, so he's just, trying to take all the outs he has because, of course, obviously he doesn't have Soko, so you gotta take what you can get.
Yep.
Okay,
On the
maybe
flip side,
Ionet
Tidal
or 2
able
maybe.
to find a pair of Silcos.
Would be good.
So now
see.
Setsuko kind of has to decide how he wants to play out the rest of this game. This looks
gonna make 40
awfully
here.
similar to what we actually saw him play in the first game. Although this time he actually has the Rebel +1. So this does change it. Last time we saw him
Maybe
playing
kill something,
around
please.
the Zoe and Heimer duo carry with a Sentinel front line.
Alright,
This
let's
time
kill the
around,
Rel.
though, he can
Let's
actually
kill the
just put
Rel.
it straight into
Okay.
the vertical
Rel is
Rebel
bad.
and
Let's kill the
utilize
Rel.
2
Right,
different
Rel?
AP threats in the back line.
Nice.
I have
Okay.
to laugh a little bit because we couldn't quite see the view, so we're like, I don't know what he's playing. By the way, he took 4-2 Rebel, so I wonder what he's playing. It might not be the Silco.
A lot of times you want Soko with 2 Shojins, but it's actually good at Rebels as well, because you can put one on Zoe and one on Jinx eventually.
Yep. So
Ooh.
definitely the Rebel line here. Lilu kind
That's
of
a
playing.
Mordekaiser too.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Wow.
Oh wow, that is Mord 2.
And no Silco.
Yeah, I mean it's still a Mord 2. It has the death cap on it.
That's something
I
you
think
just
I
put
won
in
this,
the
right?
anomaly and say, okay, cool, great.
Sure.
Yeah, for
Happy.
sure.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Mord right now kind of struggling. We haven't really seen a lot of Mord 2s do a lot of great work. Ranged Mord can do really, really well, but because Conqueror is not really something you're seeing a lot of people play like 6 Conqueror, Mordekaiser only does well in like the Dominator lines, but that's where Silco's more the big star and he tends to end up tanking. So there's just not a lot of damage here, and so if anything, Ziggs might be doing a lot of the big work here.
Yeah, I think Mord really excels in this setup when you have units to protect him, like the Scion stun, the Elise stun. If he can get a Quicksilver on this Mordekaiser, it's definitely going to be a menace.
Yeah, and so now some of the things to talk about here is Iron Bog, who won last game, kind of struggling a little bit here with the Scrap comp. We talked about how Scrap hasn't really been performing that well, and so unfortunately kind of in a tough situation. Tidal also slowly not hitting that Silco too, and so if we, if both of them don't do well this game, we have a situation where the standings.
I usually never Kim Baron without an emblem or an augment.
Doesn't have.
This is not the
okay.
most straightforward.
One of the ways to cap out the family board.
And by here, I would have loved to have 5 Kim Barons. Yeah, I can
we
compensate.
saw the RFC being utilized by the Nocturne.
Yeah,
Alright, War for the Undercity.
Really
War for the Undercity, come on. Come on, come on, come on. War for the Undercity.
We get a look at this board here where we finally have the Violet 3, the Draven 3. It came online a little late, but does have that emblem. If he had a Reforger, could try to get towards that family. But unfortunately right now, like you said, probably going towards Pit Fighter.
This is some scary positioning. If you are up against anything that could potentially wrap around the right side, your Draven is always going to die very early and can actually allow you to get into the Violet and then make sure you don't get the gem proc and then eventually make your way back up to the Violet.
It's also kind of annoying with long distance. The Violet is not attacking the same target as the Blasphemous on Draven or the anti-heal, so we can only see some of the downsides of that positioning with long distance fouls.
Oh, so close.
Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. 5%.
Unfortunately, that puts them down to 2 health for our 8th place player here, and Iron Bog at 20 health. As we go into the anomaly round here, and we're starting to see what people can get here. And again, not a lot of gold to roll too far down here. It's going to lock it in pretty quick here.
Mage armor.
Got a nice mage armor on Mordekaiser. I think it's a really good anomaly. Normally you aren't able to take this, but you actually have the spot for it.
Yeah, this is one of those anomalies. Actually, I feel like you don't typically have like a super clear spot for it, right? We're not seeing a lot of the vertical sorcerer, which in my mind is like a a spot where it makes sense. So pretty cool pickup, something we don't get to see too often.
Yeah, the big thing to call out here is, you've got that Dominator that's going to give you that more AP every time you cast.
Ooh,
but typically because Mordekaiser is monologue, he usually only gets 1 cast, maybe 2 if you're lucky. That being said, because we have the death cap, there's at least a little bit of extra power here.
Did you guys see the Titanic Strikes pickup for the Draven?
Yep.
So I love that it addresses the problem you were calling out with the long distance pals. You can actually have that damage applied to what the Violet's actually attacking.
Yeah, Titanic Strikes. Draven also does 100% of his damage through his auto attack, so he's getting maximum value from Titanic Strikes, something that no other unit really in the entire set does. Twitch comes close, but he has the experiment damage that it doesn't work on, so it's actually the perfect thing for Draven.
Yeah, no, this is, again, we talk about Nocturne being playable, and having an artifact definitely does help. That being said, I'm not personally a fan because without something like the Fishbones, you still find yourself getting stuck on that front line. And we saw it there, right? The Nocturne just not really doing enough damage to get through it. Unfortunately, we do have our 8th place player getting knocked out. Just really seemed like it was a rough game for him.
Okay, I've been watching this tournament. Isn't it kind of sad
carousel, please.
Zoom in on the guy who
lights
just
turn
died.
off. It's the drama, Asa. So Hushin, actually, you know what?
As someone who played in the tournament, I just know like every time I die,
Please
they're
don't
gonna
take it.
zoom in on me.
Please don't take it.
Yep.
Important to note.
Thank you.
So Ironbog was able to stay alive. One of the other players who's getting down there, but Hushin does fall, like you said, Mort Dog. And taking stock of the lobby, we can see this very clear disparity between the Tristana reroller, who at this point, I mean, is certainly clearly locked for like a top 3, but most likely at this point, like we said, it feels like a spot where you can, expect yourself in the top 2, top 1 of this lobby.
I think our top 2 players are going to top 2.
Yeah, I mean, the Tristana, we're starting to get to that point where that ball is really huge, doing a lot of damage. But I like the fact that they took the anomaly and didn't put it on the Tristana. They're like, look, this Trist is doing plenty of damage. It's fine. Instead, taking giant-sized and putting that on the Garen.
Smart.
That Garen Emissary bonus going to share that health with people nearby, just buying even more time here. And now we get our top 1 and 2 here. So this gives us a preview of sort of
Alright,
where we're
and
at
I chill a
right
little
now
bit.
and where
It's 5
Ethan is
Baron.
going
Let's
here.
ride
This
it.
is gonna be a pretty
Hopefully
impactful fight.
I can
From what you're
survive a
saying
little
about
bit.
the Garen Giant size, the Tristana has the rage play, so he actually wants the fight to go longer. He doesn't need more damage. More frontline translates to more rage play stacks and more damage.
That did not look close.
No, it
either.
didn't. It didn't. And the
But
thing
Lulu
is,
does have more gold.
Still not looking for wins.
Yeah, I think it could change, but that
I'm
particular
strong now
round,
to kill.
Has
Not
more
strong
gold.
to win,
Still on Ziggs carry.
I think.
Has that
gold
big
generation
Tristana
too.
ball, the big Tristana
Alright.
ball.
I agree.
Exactly as planned.
he has
Hopefully.
something greater than gold.
Alright, I'm 34. I'm 30. I'm gonna cash at 400 then.
The anomaly for the Garen there is it actually kind of band-aids the board, because if we saw on Zhao-Chi's board was all 1-star. The Garen was still 1-star, and in that fight in particular,
No, I can still
the
take
only thing that
take
really
400.
matters is the
Yeah.
uptime for the
I'm Kimberlin
Tristana,
and get
but
a level. Yeah, safe shimmer.
uptime for a
Alright.
backliner generally just
Alright.
means a strong front line.
Zhao-Chi also had really
I'm
synergistic
Kimberlin and got a
items
rate
with the
of,
Giant size
what?
because he only had resist items. He had Gargoyle,
55?
Vow, and I think even Shroud.
Okay,
So no
85?
HP or very little HP.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
those
I
items,
can
so
take it.
Giant
I can
size
take it
perfect to round that out on the Garen.
to 400.
We actually
If
did
I
get a
was
chance to
I was
see a
greedy, I
pretty
would
big
say I can
upgrade
take it
getting
to
made
500, but
to,
I'm not greedy.
Lilo's
gonna cash a
board as well.
400.
Ended up getting, I think, like a 2-star Garen. Was able to slot that in
Sure.
instead. Found a Jace, just adding in a couple of extra big.
Unless I start winning or find that I
they
now have
eventually
like a
end up
very
against
strong board, but with that, yeah, all 1-stars and all of that. Heimer 2 is something, yes, but I don't think it's enough.
Third through 7th here. This is actually
Or
a
is
tight
it?
battle. You know, Tidal was kind of struggling for a
Is
bit,
it?
is now finding himself in third
Alright.
place. Setsuko seems to have stabilized.
Okay, change of plans.
Meanwhile, on the left here,
I'm going with
our,
wins,
our
which is
family
actually not
force
bad.
is really
We can still
struggling
make it with
and
wins.
might end up going
Hopefully.
7th place here.
But I'm gonna be
The
trying to
Nocturne
find
we
Silco
talked
2
about
now.
with the artifact looking
Okay,
again, just getting stuck on
when
that
we
front
win,
line,
we're
just
slamming
not
at a rate
getting
of
the
20.
damage needed.
So I
So
want to see
we need
who
3 more rounds of
Saidera
wins.
is actually fighting against. It is
If we
Tidal,
lose,
so
it's gonna
the
be
name of the
slam
game
of
right
a
now
rate
is
of
that ignore those top 2. You can assume that you're going to
Yeah, 20?
lose
Okay,
to them
okay.
on average whenever you play them. What you can't afford to do is lose to the other players that are in that 4 through 6, the 3 through 6 position. So really important fight for Tidal and Saidera, and you can see he's celebrating. It's not because he just won the round. He knows how crucial that fight win is in his overall placement.
Every single
Guardian.
fight is really important at this point for the 3rd through 6th place players.
So unfortunately, by the way, on the left side, we saw they're losing to the Ghost Nocturne. The Nocturne got on the Draven, knocking out our player here. So we do have our 7th place, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was the downside. You called it with the long
Hopefully
distance
that turns
battles where
into
the
an Asher.
Nocturne killed the Draven while the Violet was still healthy.
Yep, that's how it goes. I mean, so much of the game, it's not
Alright,
just
I'm
about
waiting.
having the
I'm
power. It's
waiting,
about
I'm
setting up your board in a way that the power can actually be effective. And when you have a weak side of your board, there are so many threats in this game that can take advantage of a weak side of your front line. So it doesn't really surprise me.
So again, we were talking about the stories here. Both Tidal and Setsuko lost. So now if we go, you know, if you look at those health totals, it's like everyone's in that like 12 to 15 range here. So again, the battle of 3rd through 6th here is incredibly tight right now.
You have to hope you don't hit anybody in 1st or 2nd.
Yeah.
Matchmaking has to go your way.
Everyone's just praying for matchmaking.
Setsuko, he's still on the Zoe one, never
That's actually
able
nice.
to upgrade that. Despite the fact that you have this Heimerdinger,
Alright.
there's just so many damage threats on the other side, and you don't have that raw power that comes from having the upgraded Zoe.
Well, good for Setsuko, though. I think this is a ghost board, so maybe this is going to be a little bit of breathing
I don't
room
know
for
if
him.
it matters,
but
though. It's looking like a scary board on the other side.
I was hopeful. Let me
Yo,
have
Mustafa,
my-
how are you?
Actually, no,
Alright.
it wasn't. It was a real board. That was Iron
It's
Fox's
not
board.
this.
He was sitting there.
Yeah,
he was just
unfortunately,
hiding.
it looked like 2 players
Yeah,
out here. It looks
right,
like
this may be
Setsuko
it.
is going to get 6th place here. And so now 2 bot 4 finishes for Setsuko. This might be
Sure.
the end of our NA hope. He's going to have to really turn around. The good news is he has
Okay.
2 more games,
Yep.
but those 2
Okay,
games
okay,
need
okay,
to be
okay.
like 1st and 2nds.
Now
They need to
can
be really
I
good
think I still need. I'll
performances
still
here.
wait. It's
And so we
hopefully
do have our top
GG
4 here.
on Mr. Heimer there,
Lilu is falling off here. So
and the
you mentioned,
Nashor's
you
on
know, top
Mr.
2.
Aura
Lilu
Warmod
kinda struggling
on
a
him,
bit here, and
so we're gonna have to
Iron
wait.
Fog on the up here with this
Actually, it
6
should be.
scrap comp.
No,
Again,
yeah, GG now. I mean, Heimer is my
we see a lot of
mega damage dealer. I need to get this
Yeah,
too,
Lulu
actually.
didn't have the Soko 2 last time.
Alright.
Oh, he's on Malzahar 1. That's actually... Yeah, he can't play
It's
his
gonna
back
be
line.
like a hybrid board between
he's on the gold,
Don's Kim. When I cash out, I'm gonna.
Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Jace 2,
Ah.
or, you know, the
see,
Corki
let's see,
2
let's see what
doing
I can
a
do.
lot of work
I'm gonna
here,
wanna
and
get
that
out of
scrap build finds so
Kim
much
Perrin
time here. Unfortunately,
into
the only example of
hopefully
Mordekaiser's line for
visionary
the scrap shields
Heimer.
have worn off at this point,
No, I'm
but it is
losing,
enough
but
damage, and Lilu takes
20.
another
Alright, okay,
loss.
okay. The next, yeah,
But you
cashing
can
at
kinda
400.
see what,
Yes.
like we've talked about this a couple of times, the ways that you can
Alright.
itemize the Mordekaiser. Nashor's Tooth maybe not necessarily being one of the most impactful
Should actually do
items
something
that
like
you can put on it, but I don't like it as
that,
much as
get
being
that
able to have
a bit
some
stronger.
type of
Okay, I'm gonna do
omni-div
something
on
that
top
I
of
shouldn't
what
do,
Mordekaiser
but
already
I
gives you,
kinda
and
need
you
to
can
do it
see
here.
that Mordekaiser's really struggling from that.
Two Jaces.
There's definitely some itemization choices here. Nashor's not too bad. The big part about Mordekaiser, unfortunately, is that either way, he's still kind of front to back. So oftentimes, he's just slamming into, say, a Alawi that's incredibly tanky. And so that's his kind of big weakness, is he still has that front to back, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Mordekaiser is doing work, but he just doesn't have the backline carrying it.
Camille, don't do what I think you might wanna do. Don't do what I think you might wanna do. I should have positioned correctly, yes, but don't do what I think you're gonna wanna do. Camille, don't do it. Don't do it, Camille. You've done it, Camille. Alright. Okay, let's see if I'm... What would I... From watching the TFT Macau, I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually.
That does feel...
I really don't know. I'm watching because I like it.
Concern,
I don't know about if it has any awards or anything.
And then you play Zhao Qi
Okay.
after, there's a high chance even with the Malzahar 2, you still lose the fight.
Yeah.
It actually might have been a more crucial fight. My guess is that he might have known because of the matchmaking that he's playing against Zhao Qi right now and said,
let's see if
if
a 400 cash out can save me or not.
I'm probably not going to win. I need to win the next fight, so I'm going to get the 3 gold interest right now, give myself 1 additional roll to try and find Malzahar 2.
Anytime you break your econ, you make yourself stronger for
400 cash out should give me like an item on the Silco, but I would love Silco 2 here.
A lot of times in the end game, you actually are just doing that a lot because every single fight matters. But he's really playing for his strongest end game board.
So
I think it's Title.
Yeah, Title goes out in 4th place, but still a top 4 here, right? So we're at a 2nd and a 4th here. Those are still very good scores here to make.
No, do that. You're doing faster.
Finally hit the Malzahar 2 and the LeBlanc 2 here, so has some damage. Again, Malzahar much weaker than he was last patch, but also has the Mordekaiser 2, the Garen 2, and so this is sort of that Black Rose comp that was really strong last set. That being said, goes up against this scrap board, and again, that scrap board has so much healing, and the 4 form swapper just providing so much
too late there?
Jace knocking around the Scion here. Scion heals back up, but look how fast that Scion is just
Was I too late there?
deleted, and so now, unfortunately, it doesn't really give Malzahar much time to get those dots going. That's just so much survivability. Things are on the Malzahar. Mordekaiser going to go down here, and that is going to be it for Lilu here.
I think I was too late.
In 3rd place.
I was too late. I could have done more. I could have done 3-star. I was too late.
It's actually really important because she only hits 4 closest targets, and it's basically like 20%.
I'm
or
slow.
So
I am slow. I hate that.
On that target, so it's really important to have the LeBlanc hit the same as your Mordekaiser and your Malzahar is saying. So a little bit of a mistake by Leo. It's kind of unfortunate.
I'll play one more and then I'm gonna have to go.
Game, so
let's play one more. Let's see if I can do something before I have to go.
I'm not sure it would have made that big.
I mean, I got amazing games yesterday. I got the Ambassa 3 twice. One of them is on YouTube, the other one I'm gonna upload later today.
But we look at this situation is just so
it's still in the VODs on Twitch if you guys wanna see it on Twitch.
We talked about it early, how it was from the Vi Anvil and the extra components, and then the 4 form swapper.
Kim Baron is so hard. Kim Baron
really
is
the backline here, but unfortunately, it just can't really deal with.
It's for someone. Okay, maybe if I turned off the stream here and maybe if I was focused and done it so fast, but I was actually because I'm having sounds from the stream. Wasn't I yesterday? It's on YouTube. It's Ambassa 3 Vector 3. It's actually I'm very proud of it. It's the last video I uploaded to YouTube, on my channel. And from the very first moment I planned it so that I would actually get something crazy.
This is critical mass.
So yeah, I'm proud of it. When I'm clear-headed I can do stuff, but at that elo at Emerald, everyone knows what they're doing. They don't give you a chance to take it slow.
Everything on this board is
but still, I'm inshallah I'm getting to diamond.
And if you can somehow win a handful of fights, you also have the out on the other side of him having 6 Ambassa. If you sell what he just sold another.
Well, he got Mel.
Right? And still, the stream, the value from watching the stream is very, very
there you go.
high. Also because the information. Every little bit of information that you're getting out of it is really important.
So big.
It's gonna win this fight though. This is not the end of the game quite yet here. Garen is not gonna be able to take out this Gangplank, I don't think.
Are you sure?
It's close,
I don't know.
Oh!
Okay.
Here we go. Just like that, Zhao
There you
Qi.
go.
It's a 4 emissary Garen, so he gets
That's
a lot
true.
of
It gets Oxygen damage.
bonuses
You're right.
from
You're
Tristana
right.
and Vesa, and even Nami.
2 top 4s in a row, I believe, for both of those players, right? Ironbog taking the first game, and now Zhao Qi going fourth and then first.
All right.
Both of these players putting themselves in a great position
give me
to
Orlok?
make it into that top 8. Remember, 4 games in this final round. It's not the 3-game cutoff that we've seen. So those players that are at the bottom, it's not over for them.
Okay.
You still have a chance to come back.
No, but it does put us in the situation where, because it feels like it's very split right now, the top doing well, the bottom doing well, game 3 is the kind of situation where if you're on the bottom and you, like, then you're out. And we end up in this situation where, like, going into game 4, there might only be like 5 people still in contention, which then creates a really awkward
Toxiturum Arena is so cool.
It's a very odd situation.
Which one's this?
Well, Huxin is like out.
Do I see it you?
At this point, that was 2 aces back to back.
Yeah, you see,
I like dark arenas. It's because
So someone like
I don't like very bright arenas. So if it's dark, then yeah, I like it.
Generally speaking, the threshold's going to be
Let's see,
inflated, right?
where's the shop?
Other way around.
It'll be lower, yeah, because the points are.
This?
Going to be there'll be more points at the top, meaning that
The rich
4th
get
spot
richer.
is going to be the
That's
spot
actually
up
good.
for grabs.
I think I
going
had
into
money
the
to
top
buy
2
it for,
games,
or
which
had
that is
enough
really
of
good
that
someone
coin,
like
whatever it is, to
Setsuko,
buy it
who,
at some point.
despite only being at 5
I opted
points,
for
is
the
actually
darker
now
one.
able to compete for that 4th slot.
So if we think about it in the simplest terms, right, it's average is 18 to move on.
Okay.
You know, so because it's 4.5 times 4, it's going to be 18. And so if you're at 5, that means you need 13 points in 2 games. Right? So
Very
That's why I got the
That
Echoes
sounds
one.
doable, but it's hard, right? Like
Easy for Setsuko.
Yep.
Sure. And again, very top heavy, very bottom heavy. So right now it feels like if you're someone at like that 15, that 13 already. Now that being said, how many times today have we already been like, just don't go 8, just don't go 8. And if you're at 13, an 8 is 14, and all of a sudden you're 4 points away. You can throw away this lead pretty quick.
That's like the curse of TFT, right? The second you think to yourself, like,
Zone
I have
vibes,
to play
what?
for X placement, like, it's just impossible to ever actually get the placement that you need.
Very true. Well, Asa, thank you so much for your time on the broadcast. We were so happy to have you. Anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
TFT rocks.
I love it. We'll leave it on that one. Asa, thanks again. And we are going to take a short break before we come back with the rest of day number 2 of the TFT Macau Open.
Now I want boom, but I have to collect more crystals. I already finished the battle pass. I think I have 3 booms already. I think so far I have 3 booms that I'm... At a certain point they become too distracting and you just opt for the, you know, defaults. Right. Who do I know from those pros? Okay, they're all emeralds. We have one who's platinum. Okay. I'm gonna pay attention. It's 1:42. My gym opens in like 20 minutes. I should go to the gym today. So it's 1 game, then off to the gym, and then other stuff that I need to do in life, and then maybe back in a few hours to play more, and hopefully also play Marvel Rivals. Yeah, I wanna do more of Marvel Rivals. I should upload episode 3 today. I need to upload the other Ambessa 3 game, but the first Ambessa 3 was planned. The second Ambessa 3 was just like, you know, I got it. It was there. And then after that, I played another game where I needed an Ambessa 2 at least, and I didn't get but 1 Ambessa because yeah, that's how TFT works. I played so many games where I could have won if I just paid more attention or was a little bit faster. Last game, for example, if I was a little bit faster, I could have turned that into a win. Could have repositioned right, because given, yeah, again, that's just Actually, no, that's healthy for me to remember that, so I can do it in the next games that I try to do that. So this is just not ruminating without purpose there. No, that's active learning. It's called deliberate practice, yeah. Alright. The goal for this set is to get to Diamond, hopefully Master. I'm not hoping for Grandmaster this set, but I'm hoping for a Masters this set. That should be like an active and achievable goal. For next set, I'm gonna be actually going for maybe Grandmasters and Challenger. Inshallah. You know, once the game starts. So start now, come on. Alright. Ambassa, give me Ambassa. And the crab. Okay, it's
I'm crazy.
Loot sub.
You should see my sister.
Okay, loot sub. Scuttle bottle, no, scuttle bottle, yeah, not loot sub, scuttle bottle. Okay. Alright. I'm not gonna force anything. I'm gonna actually make do with the best that I've gotten. Just do that.
Hey, who is this?
So this is Alyssa. She is about she's 1 year and about 2 months, I think, maybe 3. Actually, I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh! And this is your second kid, right?
Yes.
Oh, so cute.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, just so cute.
I was gonna say she's actually a huge TFT fan. I've been prepping in the hotel, and every time she comes by, she tries to click on the units, like on the little screen. She tries to tell me what to buy.
Well, now you have to play on iPad so that she can pick for you.
I should. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she's very precious.
That's the tech. Well, Socks, you were competing in the tournament this weekend, right? How'd your run go?
I went. I got knocked down round 1. I went 6-6-3. I'm not gonna say it's any one baby's particular fault, but yeah.
Oh, so cute.
The next generation of TFT gamer right there. They'll get them in for about set 48, and we'll be good to go.
It'll be my child versus Sox's child in set 48 World Final.
There you go. There you go.
Now.
I also wanted to say that she's Soju's probably youngest fan. You know, I put Soju up on the TV a little bit. She loves Soju. So.
What does she like about Soju most, do you think?
That's hard to say, but you know, Soju's got a very wide range of reactions. Sometimes, like,
I know Immortus laughing here.
He'll go from he'll go from laid back and say, like,
it's because he said that Soju's fan was this little cats.
He doesn't know it.
I'm torn because on the one hand, you know, watching TFT young, that's great. On the other hand, Soju this early? I don't know. You know.
He does drop a lot of F-bombs, but
I don't know about this.
I mean,
right?
That's just the real world. We all
he's
do
also he's also teaching her the alphabet actually, because one of his favorite letters to teach is G.
G.
True. I was gonna say also teaching her a second language, Twitch Soju speak. You know, so you got
very important.
You've got it all.
Okay, let's see.
Well, Socks, Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us. We wanted to make
if I had a coffee in me and was actually going for a win, I would actually try and do that and force it.
Alyssa, can you say bye-bye?
Can you say bye-bye?
Bye.
Okay.
Perfect. I love it.
Oh, so cute.
Adorable.
Ooh.
You really hit the prismatic orb with this one.
You really did. So
Scuttle
cute.
bottle.
Bye-bye.
Amazing.
Thank you, Socks.
On the whole time.
Nah. Alright. Okay. Yes.
Oh, so cute.
Bye-bye. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
There's so much cuteness on the broadcast today. Oh my gosh. Amazing. I'm so glad we got a chance to have Socks as his kid. Socks has had such a beautiful family, such a beautiful story in TFT, so I love that we get to celebrate that. So let's let's get back to our action. Clement, welcome back to the broadcast as
Thank
well.
you.
Let's get into our third game of the round of 16 here in
Three,
day 2 of the TFT Macau Open.
So we do have some point leaders coming out here. You know,
contest me?
Ironbog now at 15.
Actually, I could have made 20 there.
Lobby, while
My
looking
bad.
at the bottom end, Hushing double 8s, and of course Setsuko on 5 points are now
Okay.
on alert. They might have to up the tempo, play more risky.
Mort Dog talked about it before. Setsuko, if you want to get into that projected threshold, you're talking about having 2 really strong placements, a 2 and a 3.
Yep.
If there is any player, though, that I believe can go 1-1 in the back half of this round, though, that is Setsuko.
So the encounter, by the way, we have the powder encounter, and the way this one works is on 3-5, one of 4 things will happen. 3 of them are good, 3 of them are just like, here, have some extra components, or have some extra gold, or a radiant refactor. But one of them, if you hit the bad one, is everyone takes 10 player damage. It's the lore accurate one.
I cannot tell you how much I am so happy you changed this in double up. I was playing and we took 20 total damage.
That's awesome.
I can top that. Up until this patch, it worked in hyper roll. 20 health.
That's awesome.
Because you have like almost
Ooh,
essentially
wait.
a chain encounter as well.
Okay.
Oh, okay, big economy start.
Rose contesting
A
me.
lot of gold here.
Whoa. This is
Show me your
4
items.
4 rebels or 5 rebels? We have
4.
4 rebels, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Clement baited me. He's like over
going
here.
5, I was
He's
going
putting 5.
5.
I'm like, wait. Yo,
That's 4.
Nice. That's actually nice.
Ezreal, though, right? So you
That's
not
actually
only,
the desired
have
output of that.
multiple rebels, you have the ones that are a
If you're
little bit
contesting me,
harder
I need to be
hit.
earlier
So
on the carousel.
Tidal has an
Holly.
opportunity to get a lot of raw power on stage too.
I have to comment, Gangly, this kind of shows the difference in playstyle here, because you're over here like, rebel, completely ignoring the Chem Baron star.
The Rennie drop.
I think that's for good reason here, though, because it is the powder encounter, and some players are not willing to play with the 25% chance here.
Oh, I feel like if Tidal has that Rennie already, and like I feel like he's gonna go that route.
Is
if he
it
can.
He has
actually
enough points for
25% chance though? Because I feel like
it is.
more.
Alright, 30 gold.
I have played like maybe.
And we lose that,
12
yes.
games of
Lux is
powder.
positioned perfectly, so
And
I
only
she
found
doesn't
out
Lux
just
around.
recently that you
He's
can
also,
get
you know,
items
itemized,
from
so,
the monkey.
okay.
You got more.
That's actually
I'm going
very
to
good.
save the audience from another lecture on how
Alright.
statistics and
What is the
random
probability here that I get what I wanna get?
point is, yes, it is 25.
What is the probability that I'm gonna get what I'd like to get?
100% to get the 10 damage whenever I'm lost streak.
Yes, it is.
Looking at the
Okay.
scouting, by the way, I think Tidal is in the Chem Baron line. So,
Alright.
Ironbog, by the way, he does
What
take
is the
3
probability that I see what I wanna see, that I get what I wanna get?
Sadara
Okay.
also has Chem Baron here,
88.
actually. So
You're doing
the
what,
big
Bruiser?
story here,
Right.
if that's
You wouldn't
true, we want to see
go
how
for it?
Tidal's board is doing.
If it's
we
there.
have 2 Chem Baron
Am I right?
players, that
Am I
is
right?
a
Am I
lot
right? Am I
of
right? Am I
players,
right?
a lot
Am I
of
right?
players. Going back to Ironborg Vlog, he did take BRB. That's going to give him extra items onto 5 here, so pretty good extra value.
Wait,
there.
what?
Is able to win the stage as well.
I'm
here.
second!
That's a big deal.
Okay, we look at Tidal's board here, and Tidal is in Rebel, so he did not go Chem Baron. Is going to have that spatula as well.
Who
to
got
make
it?
A big champion here. Right now is feeding the Rennie, which is interesting. I probably would have fed the set
That
if you're going to stick with Rebel.
Is
as
a
opposed to the Rennie,
scam!
because you end up selling the Rennie later. But on the other side here, we see that Chem Baron start here, and so the Chem Baron emblem in particular, that's a big thing that matters here, because that's going to allow you to hit 4 earlier and 5 earlier. We
Okay,
see that
so
the Chem
if I'm
Baron
done,
emblem start really elevates this comp from like harder to play to like pretty dang close to S tier.
That's probably why Tidal switched as well.
Yes.
Despite having the start, he saw the emblem. It's just so much more powerful. Very hard to beat that.
We've also seen the emblem open up the opportunity to play that Exodia variation of the Chem Baron with the perfected Unleashed Toxins and the Kog'Maw. So, you know, it's something to keep an eye out.
Now, one of the other things is Cooking Pot, the augmented Tidal has, is one of my personal
The correct
favorite
base, yeah,
augments.
because the Senti
You
root.
can do a lot of creative stuff.
Sorcerer Senti.
Because it's 50 health per turn. And if you think about it, there are, 6
You've
stages per
stolen.
turn. That's 300 health per
You've
turn.
stolen my
On stage 5,
frying pan, bro.
900 bonus health on
And
stage
for that, you're gonna pay.
That can scale really well with things like Bruiser, and that's per emblem.
Alright.
So hypothetically, if your 3-2 augment is another emblem, like say a Rebel emblem or a Bruiser emblem, all of a sudden now you're looking at 100 health per turn. So it can get pretty crazy and make some pretty fun stuff. The one positive here of feeding the Rennie, I want you to imagine late game, a Rennie 3 that has 1,000 bonus health on top of everything else. That can create some pretty interesting situations. It's harder to pull off, but if you can, imagine that with like Slow Cooker as an example, that can be some game-winning stuff that you don't normally see.
The two builds we've seen it the most was with the Ambusher and with the Bruiser, since you can also just build it out of the frying pan. So those are kind of the main builds that we kind of expect, but generally melee carries in the front.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the Bruiser emblem is a great use of that to scale up here. And so we'll have to see, pay attention to what Tidal takes. Is he going to try to merge that into an emblem pretty quick, or maybe greed out for like that Reforger or something like that?
And Bruiser is craftable this, correct?
The second augment is going to be really important now.
Okay.
What I was going to ask is, a lot of where we saw Bruiser be super powerful was like Bruiser Twitch, but I'm not super knowledgeable about like what is good with the Bruiser line right now after the patch.
Yeah, so Bruiser Twitch is still very good. The Bruiser Mundo in particular did go down in power with the way the scaling changed on the spell. That being said, it is still very good, and especially combined with the cooking pot, if you can hit like Mundo really early, like let's say on 3-2, and then start feeding him. But the trick is also, though, that it's hard to feed him if he's the one holding the Bruiser emblem. So there's like this weird contradiction that you kind of have to set yourself up for here. Speaking of gold, by the way, this is 50 gold on 2-5. It's kind of played open court here, sold a lot of units, but is very rich from that high econ start. And if you look on the right side here, you know, we see 50 gold, 240 gold players. Everyone else still kind of in the 20s.
Yep. Keep in mind, Hushin 2 points after 2 games, went 8-8, and so the only real way that Hushin can, get back into this is by going 8-8 and kind of hoping for a miracle. So this is a very high risk, high reward strategy we're seeing.
A lot of interesting thing happening with the Hushin board. He probably did grief Sadera here. He already has a win, broke his loss streak, and he was also contested on the other side by another potential Nocturne player. So he has to do a lot of signaling in this lobby. I have more gold. I'm going to roll first. I have the full lobby.
Yeah, like you pointed out, if you start at the top of the screen here, Sadera did end up unfortunately winning on 2-3.
I can do a mix-up.
Definitely slowed that down.
But an early quirk is an early quirky.
So we have 4 Chem Baron early. If we can find
Alright, let's see what that roll got.
Still a way to turn this off, and that's
Is
the
that
thing
4
about
rebels?
Chem Baron.
Who did you
A
get?
single
Yeah, he
play
got a set.
victory
Where's my
is
set?
not gonna really ruin the game for you. Yes, it'll slow you down a little bit, but it's not too bad for now. A second
okay.
one, though, that's where it can really
That's an Ampture, and he's really active Ampture right now.
Okay, looks like Lilo does get the
Okay,
lucky draw,
let's
so
see what I
the
get.
streakers will continue most likely.
I gotta keep that
Yeah, it turns out you
free
can
for a while.
easily
Oh, it's not that.
do Nocturne
It's
one.
which one?
Really?
Yeah,
It's
this
not
the
a
bow.
very
I need
strong
to keep
board.
the bow free for a
I
while.
checked the stats, and the AVP looks a little low on that one.
This fight looks a lot closer though. Tidal, other Hunter Seeker trying to
What
get
are the
it,
probabilities
but
now?
Iron Bog on the other side. There's just so much power, and it's utilizing a lot of the raw
Yeah,
power
let's
you
go.
can get from items, using the Morello
Oh.
and the Static Shiv. Has base power to it that's going to be able to deal a lot of DPS. So Tidal,
If I roll it, how much am I gonna regret it? If I reforge it.
In that regard, Hushin maintaining the 5 loss, but because it is the powder encounter, we have to be.
How much am I gonna
that Hushin
regret
might be full
reforging
loss
that?
into minus 10 HP at 3-5.
Powder would never do that.
It
That's
could be
barely
Radiant
not.
There is
Resolve
an
as well.
idea
That would be a save for him.
that I just
especially when
got
he's
right
signaling
now.
This melee carry on the Nocturne.
For Chao-Chi though, look how many copies that he does have for all of these units. Only needs 3 more of the
There is a
violet,
very,
already has
but I'm
one
gonna have to
booster.
wait until
Looks
my third
also
augment to make
look
that
impressive,
decision.
Still with 50 gold. So really close to being able to just fully cap this out before you get to this powder encounter.
I mean,
Can I do like Rebel Emissary for emissaries?
grab bag right now, which typically
It's gonna be really expensive to.
Oh, now you go. You only
But no, you need vertical rebel for that bend the town blue thing to make
doesn't roll very deep.
There it is.
the best use out of it. Thing is that quick striker.
A couple rolls to 40 and then decides if he just wants to use it. Then.
He
Yeah,
leveled.
You don't build around Akali.
I would be happy moving forward to level 5 and 6 with just a 3-star Violet.
So at this point,
That's
though,
why I'm not a big fan of Rebel. Rebel is very
at all, and you're just pushing levels for the
distracting to pull off.
And I think the big thing to note here is it was an economy game, so everyone's economy is really good. If you stay on 5 too long, you'll fall behind pretty hard.
Oh, this is really interesting.
I'm not itemizing yet.
Change directions now. Setsuko, who also needs points and
What are you, bro?
can't pivot 'cause
He's
a
watching.
Icon,
He's
also got
watching.
knocked
He's
down.
watching.
Whoa, so many Nocturne players.
I'm not itemizing yet.
Yeah, you can see here, I don't think anything's going to be able to kill this Violet here.
I'm gonna wait.
Setsuko is going to take a loss here at level 6, is going to go back to 40 gold at least.
I am
Definitely
gonna
not
wait.
The matchup he was hoping for.
Ah, hi.
So, waiting to see
Okay,
if
and
he's
can you
able
please
to
win?
still continue his win streak
You're level
and
7.
head into the next augment here.
You're
Gold
4
or
rebels still.
will be something a little bigger.
Yeah, you're not
Gold
5.
one here, so gold, some pretty standard choices here. Pit Fighter Crest is definitely an interesting option. Is going to slam that pretty quick. Yep, that's going to be some extra power. Going to be able to make sure your Violet gets a little bit more healing, a little bit more
Nice.
damage, and looking at some of the other augments.
That
coming
is
in,
desired.
I believe taking tower defense, which is
Okay.
really good to take on
Am I gonna be
3-2,
griefed again?
because you've already
Am I gonna be
done
griefed again by
We'll
that
have to
sim,
see
bro?
what that turned into. Lilu going to be taking the extra burn damage from the red buff. Tidal going to be taking Epoch, some extra power there. But yeah, kind of the big story here, I think, is Setsuko with that tower defense. Trait did he get?
Okay. Now, you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It does feel a bit desperate. He
Okay,
took
why do you need
Fighter
it?
and has on the bottom half of the HP. He's not.
He wants to make a bit. He wants to make a bit fighter, I
Here,
think.
So he does need that hit to be very influential.
I really hate that, bro.
Tidal did slam the Bruiser emblem, so we're definitely looking
Well,
like
the
a
Garen though
window.
is not bad also
He's
because
not
the
worried
Garen
too much about
makes
the,
me think more. Okay.
He's feeding right now. He's feeding
Bring
it to
on the
Nunu.
bad guy.
It's just sort of extra health for the team, 50 health per turn, but he's not worried too much about concentrating it all in.
Okay,
one
I'm gonna
spot.
keep holding
And
those
he's gonna
guys.
use Epoch to hopefully hit level 8 on 4-1. Use those free rerolls to try to hit the Mundo, the Twitch, and play around it.
Don't
from
think
that
this is a
position.
plan. It's tempting.
I'm usually pretty happy to play Bruiser Twitch just because usually nobody picks up on my Twitches or Mundos. So
But
it's kind
not
of the most open line in the meta currently.
Lilu,
The
by the
plan.
way, I want to call out here, has 7 Ziggs. He's not playing Ziggs reroll. It's not like he's trying to force this, but is holding 7 Ziggs. There's a world where we just kind of natural into this. And so, if so, I think that's a pretty good spot for here.
If I do
Using the extra
this
HP
and
to
try to go 5 rebels, but 7 rebels, the stun in 7 rebels is really important.
You know, out the bronze for life part of the equation, but you know, is a tier away from really good.
Alright,
Ziggs
based on my third augment, I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna still be losing hard.
On the other side, though, we do see 5 Chem Baron was able to find the ready, not the Silco though.
Hopefully, I think he's gonna roll. Oh wait,
Though, 59, definitely a lot lower than you'd want to be.
I got
yeah, that's on
confirmation
one against him.
Emblem
Yeah,
as
okay.
well from what Setsuko took on the dummy, and it's Watcher.
Watcher
Okay.
emblem.
That works out okay because he was already in Automata, so it's not too bad.
Not how much value. It's like it's something that like it doesn't ruin his
Yeah.
game, but it does not feel like a bailout.
He's
No,
watching. He's
certainly not.
watching. He's
The big thing
watching.
here is the 2 players that need the points on this reroll.
If I use
both of
this
them have
and
actually
I do 4
collided on
quick
the same
strikers,
composition. I don't think there's a lot of room to pivot.
4 and 3, triple.
And Hushing.
Yeah, you're right.
So I use that just for who?
Yeah, the fact that they are contesting each other,
That
that
two
is gonna put them
sentinels,
in a really bad spot here, and we could, like I said, it feels like
And
we're in a
I bought it
situation
on.
where
I bought that
our
quick striker on.
top 4 players might just be dominating really
Take
hard.
this guys out. I bought it on like Jinx later, and this quick striker does what exactly?
And for the Chem Baron, please no minus
Quick
HP.
striker is just
Please no
dex
minus.
speed.
Didn't explode, but turned into 4 item components. All right, so this is going to give people a lot more items to work with. Now, that being said, it is 4 random items, so you don't always get
Really don't like playing
I've
for
seen this sometimes
such
be as
a
bad as like 3 armors and a cloak.
position.
So it can be pretty high variance based on what components you get from this encounter.
I mean, there is still, but
Sidor
it's
is
gonna be
putting some
Dylan.
items onto his board right
Okay.
Always it's kind of a risky thing when you have a Smeech too. I hope he's done his scouting. This board can actually win sometimes accidentally.
Yep. I mean, it does help that you're playing against the melee bruiser, who has enough sustain that you're not really too concerned. So for now, Sidera actually going to be able to take a pretty good loss, all things considered. Able to kill 3 units against a level 7 board.
That
So the problem
makes
is
sense.
the HP is a little bit lower than you
This
generally
was
would
early.
want. So Sidera kind of
Yes.
has to try and kill units each round.
So we're getting 55 per turn, and we're at 285 right now, which means really to hit that, I believe we need 5 more losses losses. And unfortunately at 42 health, I don't know that you're going to make it to that 500 breakpoint here. You could try to cash out at 400. You could also try to win streak, but unfortunately Sidera I don't think is looking really good with this Chem Baron spot.
I'm wondering, do you just cash out at 300?
Usually 400 can win you the game, as we've heard from Kiyun earlier as well.
Okay.
And 300, you do that if you're playing Renata reroll and you find something good. Yeah. But what I've heard from players is generally it's about what the items are. If they're the Silco items, then you take them even at 300. That's probably your best bet.
Okay.
So yeah, something to keep an eye on for
That's
sure.
yeah.
Lilo, though, able to maintain this win streak the entire game until right now, where unfortunately the Ziggs will not be enough to break through Hushin's Nocturne board. And despite, we also should note that Hushin able to find the Mbessa. Really
Still not itemized, by the way.
Of enabling these quick strikers.
I am still not itemized.
When you have the frontline Nocturne, what's really important is that you're able to break through the enemy frontline. What often happens is that you need to have two carries on the same side that are able to break through the enemy team's weak side. We can see that's what the positioning is right now. Both the Mbessa and the Nocturne trying to break through the right side of the field.
And it's amazing because you have
The
Pandora's.
second Jinx.
So you actually got all of those components and you're just able to make them into really great items for both of them.
I have a Shoujin.
Yeah, for sure. The value of Pandora's goes up a lot because of that here.
I'm a little surprised actually that
Do I have the space for the
Pandora's
Jinx?
double
For the Vi?
Titans. To be honest, I feel like Titans on Mbessa in particular is something that
quite as good.
It's not quite as good, especially just, you know, Mbessa really wants to be able to deal damage to that front line. She has a lot of disruption. The AD percentage of her spell just got buffed. And so if you can actually have things like Giant Slayer or crit on her, she can deal a lot of damage even to upgraded frontline and really help the melee bruiser out. Or the melee Nocturne, excuse me.
All right, so we're at 340 here. If we lose this one, we're at 395. So that does mean 3 more losses to hit 500 here. But unfortunately, 34 health, 3 losses might just kill you or put you insanely low.
Could you lose and then win?
Whoa, sorry.
We're at 6 Chem Baron right now, right? So isn't it 70?
Oh yeah,
It is
70.
70 per loss.
3 more losses though.
It does mean that you'll have the 400 cash out right now, which, I mean, at this point, it looks like you probably need to take it as long as it doesn't just ruin your game. And I don't even know if you have any options from there.
You usually just want a lot of tankiness and hope that you high roll into Silco.
I'm laying down an augment. I'm gonna fix that right away.
Kind of the play here, but he's going for red blue buff. Oh, this is so good.
Toxins.
He pushed. There is one bailout here. If he finds Savika is 7 Chem Baron, 7 Chem Baron is 100. So if he could somehow find Savika, found a Jinx, found a Malzahar, I feel like you just keep fishing for this.
This is a I need points play. I feel like Baltic Saber and Unleash Toxins actually pretty good. Both of them were Silco
I hate
items.
that.
Yeah, the challenge here, he also has the duplicator I want to call out here.
Yep.
So, and he has a lot of items, but you have to lose 2. Actually, wait. No. He's at 410. He can go 70. That'll put him at 480 and then win.
Yeah.
That's the other option we could do here. Now, that being said, we're like win without your Chem Baron. You know.
But he does have the duplicator, right? So if you find Silco 2, you can upgrade that front line maybe. There's a world in which maybe, depending on how matchmaking goes, you can sneak out a win for sure.
On the other side, by the way, we do see Lilo.
Have I been scammed?
So we're seeing our
A watcher?
6-3, I think, mostly of the day that I've seen. So
Out of all
cool to see Sidera
the
does lose
choices.
480. Now the question is, can he pull out a win to get him to that 500 mark, or does he crash and burn and go 8th? And if he goes 8th, he's only at 8 points right now. That probably knocks him completely out of competition.
It doesn't really matter if you have the Savika, I guess, right now. You might as well throw it in.
So
you get the HP, right?
The HP is really valuable here.
Specifically for cashing out, right? Because now you have the upgraded Silco, and what you really just need is time for Silco to stall.
No, I think the Savika was a big high roll here. That's a lot of extra health for his team here. This fight is going to make it, like, you can see the anticipation. His hands are ruined. He's ready to go.
Oh, this looks very winnable. Extremely winnable fight. You can see the Mbessa and the Corki both trying to break through the left side, but there's a lot of tankiness there. Really just matters whether the Mbessa will go to the back line or stay toward the center of that front line. You can see she moves backward into safety. Silco is ramping up. The Mbessa and the Corki are both still alive, though. but they're both on the front line. The Embed falls. That's it. Okay.
Watch the player cam. This is all right. We've hit our 500. This is again where Chem Baron really takes off. And the fact that you have 7 Chem Baron is so much health. The question is, what perfected item does he get? As long as it's not the destabilized Chem Tank, that's the thing you don't want to see. It ends up being a little weak. If we can get something really powerful for the Silco, that could be a turnaround into a first place.
I can't do it more. I need to wait.
For the top already. So he's looking just for that,
I think it's less that, but it's certainly
like, you can definitely do it. Like, that's the Exodia.
It's certainly an option. I think at this point, it's just let's see what that perfected. He does find. No, this is perfected the Shimmer Bloom. So this one did get nerfed this patch. It now has a 1-second cooldown, but it is still pretty good.
No Mordekaiser or basic shenanigans.
Yes, but it does still give a lot of AD and AP. He also gets one of the items for Silco here. I think you don't put that one. The Unleash Toxins 2 is really good here. It acts as a replacement Shojin, as well as some extra power here. Now he does kind of have double Shojin, which feels pretty good. He's going to move the items to the Mordekaiser, and this feels like a very strong board here. The Renata is going to use this perfected Shimmer Bloom to provide a ton of attack speed and AP to the team, and so this does feel like a very good spot.
Now, I was talking to one of the CN casters earlier today who talked to me about how in CN, they generally want to keep the vertical Chem Barons in the entire game. They actually don't drop out of even the Singed and the Smeech later on when you're level 8, level 9, level 10, because they just value having the additional HP and the strong frontline for your Silco.
I 100% agree with that. If you have 7 Chem Baron, the amount of HP you are getting from this trait right now is kind of bonkers.
Comeback story.
No way.
That's very good.
And the perfect interval for it, right? Because it's every 10.
Yep, that's correct.
So sitting at 10 HP means you're going to get maximum
45%.
value out of comeback story.
Yeah.
That's insane.
He did it. He was able to find that Savika, turn it around. This is the kind of position that unless somebody hits like a 3-star 4 cost, you are probably going first place.
Chem Baron with a cash out.
Could you put the Chem
And a Civ?
Baron emblem on the
Like,
Mordekaiser
2 amazing items. Wow.
You can, but at this point, it's sort of safer to just kind of ride what you have here and be fine with it.
And I'm laying down an augment.
So I wouldn't worry about that too much here. Now, we talked about the standings, by the way. Iron Bog is at 15.
Yeah, of course.
If Iron Bog goes 8,
Alright.
that puts him at 16.
I'm annoyed.
You know,
I'm
that's,
annoyed.
like we talked
I'm
about
annoyed.
blowing your lead.
Yeah.
That is